is Thursday, and we are going to talk Kentucky Derby. I'm in my black, white, and red because that's the official colors of the Kentucky Derby. I've got my fascinator on. Robin would remember this. She had to wear it in my wedding. My mother made it. Believe it or not, she handmade it. And I thought it would be perfect for today. And let's get started. So, of course, the Kentucky Derby, yay. It was postponed from May 5th. However, I'm looking through my notes because I thought I printed some facts on it, but I don't have them. So, it's the 146th running of the Kentucky Derby. The race has never been canceled due to weather. Can't say the same for COVID. So instead of May 5th, it's September 5th. Hi, Kay, how are you? And what else do I know? They sing My Old Kentucky Home, and that was written in 1852, published in 1853 by Stephen Foster. Some people think it was a minstrel song, and it was actually had to do something with, I don't know, Frederick Douglass said it was not against slaves. So that's all I know about it. I don't even want to get into that discussion. But they sing My Old Kentucky Home before the race. This Saturday, it will start at 2:30 with a bunch of races before the culmination of the greatest 2 minutes of sports, which is the Run for the Roses at 7:01 p.m. I know one horse has been scratched, but I don't know his name. If you're hosting a small little intimate get-together, get to the dollar store, no reason to spend a ton of money, and get some red plates and red bowls and red bar napkins just for serving. I like to do appetizers and desserts on these and then use my regular plates for, for serving. Hi, Susie. Hi, Kay. I hope to see you this weekend. Okay, so what is the official drink of the Kentucky Derby? Well, that's a silly question. It's a mint julep, of course. A mint julep. Okay, so knowing, having a couple people over, I wanted to get a jump on the market, and I got two types of mint. Not really two types, but basically, I'll show you what I mean. So this kind of mint, it came in a big bunch like that. It was the same price, it's the same type, but this is what you're looking for because you're gonna wanna use the little sprig of it to garnish. This was just short and it was like a big bush. They were both $1.99. They both smell delicious, but let me tell you, there's a lot of dirt involved. So if you're going to have a mint julep on Saturday, try to get out there tomorrow and get some. Again, you don't have to get two types, but I know I was muddling some and some I'm using for garnish. So I'm going to get started. Okay, so we want to use a Kentucky bourbon. Of course, you know, hi Barb missing, hi Beverly. Of course you can use anything, but the creme de la creme, the official drink of the Kentucky Derby is Woodford Reserve. This is just Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's supposed to be fantastic. I haven't even opened it up yet. As you can see, I got it especially for this week. So I will use it to make my mint julep because it'd be a sin not to, right, if I have it. The other types I've wanted to talk about are Basil Hayden's. Highly recommended for this day. You can see we've already used this, Boulier. I think you say it, Bouliette. I don't know how to say it, but it's very good. As you can see, it's almost gone. And Maker's Mark would, of course, do in a pinch. Maker's Mark is great. So let's talk Kentucky Derby. Kentucky cocktails. All right, so Freshman's is a must. Kentucky bourbon should also be a must, but if you don't have Kentucky and it's just a couple of you, of course you can serve something in a pinch. I won't tell. All right, the other must, crushed ice. Look, in preparing, I already crushed a bunch of ice for us so that we won't have to listen to that while I'm trying to talk. The other must is the silver mint julep cup. I do not have one. I will not be purchasing one. If I was at Home Goods shopping lately, I would have maybe picked two up if I saw them, but I haven't been, so I didn't. So we can just go with this glass, we can go with this glass, we can go, you can even, a down-home one, go with a mason jar, all right? But for our purposes, I think I'm gonna use this glass because it's pretty. All right, so I'm gonna take what I call my muddling mint. Hi, Paul, how are you? All right, basically, if this wasn't so small, as you can see, it's small mint. Hi, Robin. Robin's just tuning in. Look, I have your headpiece. All right, I'm gonna take about 4 to 5 small mint leaves, and I'm gonna put them at the bottom of our glass. There are 2 trains of thoughts, honestly, is you can use fresh sugar, raw sugar, regular sugar, or you can use simple syrup. I'm a fan of the simple syrup, A, because I like to make it and I always have it on hand, and secondly, it won't be gritty. If you use the regular sugar and you don't muddle it enough, and you don't want to muddle it enough, that's another point. You don't want to annihilate the mint, you just want to bruise it lightly. All right, so we're gonna take our mint leaves at the bottom of a glass, 3 to 5 mint leaves, and then we're gonna work on our bourbon next. Hope I can open this without. Isn't it pretty? I like this bottle. I went with the Basil Hayden last time, not thinking I was going to have a little soiree, and now I was like, if I'm having a derby party, I want my Woodford Reserve. All right, so it is 1 1/4 ounce of where is my measuring cup? Here it is. This is the one with the lines on it, so Susie doesn't get confused. All right, so I'm gonna do 1 1/4 ounces. Oh, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? All right, so I put this in, and I am going to add my simple syrup, and that's 0.75 of an ounce, sorry. That seems like a lot. You know what? I'm gonna do half. If I think it needs more, I'll add more. All right, and as I said, first you're gonna take your 3 to 5 mint leaves, then you're gonna take your 1 1/4 ounce of bourbon, a Woodford Reserve, and then you were gonna take just do a 1/2 ounce of your simple syrup, which is ratio 1 to 1 sugar, or you could do 1 1/4 sugar to 1 part water. You boil it down, you make sure it bubbles, you make sure it reduces in size by half, you pour it into a clean glass, and you refrigerate it until you're ready to use. You don't want to use hot simple syrup, so make it tomorrow. Hi, Heather. Now, this is a muddler, this is a muddler. You can also use the back of a wooden spoon. You don't want to bruise it, you just want to, you do want to bruise it, you don't want to annihilate it. All right, you just want to get the mint released. Now, if you were using regular sugar, I think, whoop, there goes my decorations. I think it's a teaspoon of regular sugar, but I will look that up for y'all. Oh, listen to me, I sound so Southern. All right, now we're gonna take our ice and we're gonna fill it up 3/4 of the way. And there's a purpose to that, so don't fill it all the way up. All right, now we're gonna take, if you have a bar spoon, great. If not, you're gonna just mix it up like that. Can you see? All right, I hope y'all can see. Muddle a bit, you're okay. You don't want to completely dissolve the leaves. All right, now we're gonna add 3/4 of the way up. Oh, and now I was supposed to pour the other. Here we go, the mixed-upologist. Now I was supposed to pour 0.75 ounce of bourbon, mix it up, and then pour the other 0.50, 1/2 ounce in it. But I did it all the same, so it's okay. Now you're gonna, after that's stirred, because you really want to incorporate and pull up the mint leaves. All right. Now you can top that off with ice and lightly stir again. And stirring like this is supposed to get if you had a mint julep cup, once you keep stirring, it's supposed to get the outside of the mint julep cup all frosty. We don't have one, so we just want to chill it. We want to get some of that bourbon, that ice to melt so the bourbon isn't so strong. All right, now you're gonna take, that's it. That's so simple, isn't it? You're gonna take one of your sprigs, you're gonna stick it on, and that's it. This is a traditional. Oh, it's really good. I would go with the 1/2 ounce of the simple syrup and not the 3/4. Oh, delicious. Cheers. Okay, so that is your basic mint julep. I'm gonna do it again because I'm PO'd that I did it wrong the first time. All right, so for those now watching, I'm gonna take some mint, enough to coat the bottom. Then I'm gonna take 3/4 of an ounce, 0.75 of my brandy. That's what, not my brandy, my Woodford Reserve bourbon. All right, and then I'm gonna take some of my simple syrup. Yes, my mind's going on what I'm making next, so that's why I kind of did it wrong. Okay, so once you get it in there, you don't really have to muddle, you just have to bruise it. Then you're gonna pour in the ice, and then you're gonna really spin it. Get that mint mix. All right, now you are going to pour the other 1/2 of the bourbon, I keep saying brandy, the other 1/2 of the bourbon in. Hi Vince, how are you? And then you're gonna finish with your ice. And then once again, you're gonna use your spoon, use a bar spoon if you have, if not, don't worry about it. And what you wanna do is you wanna try to pull up your mint leaves. I don't know. Those mint julep cups, they're pretty for presentation, but let's face it, you probably only use it once a year, and they'd be very cold to touch. I don't like drinking from metal. I have a couple metal glasses, you know, that we take to the beach. Not a fan. All right, so this is like a 16-ounce glass. That's why it is not as full. Once again, we're gonna take our mint leaf. I'm using this one because it's a little destroyed, and I'm going to save my good mint for when my company comes. That is good. So, although these are great, and although these are traditional for the Kentucky Derby, drink a few of these and your guests will be sleeping by race time. So what I highly recommend is having a few flavored seltzers and drinks on hand to top them off. If someone doesn't want it straight, you can do a little club soda right on top of that, or seltzer. So that's kind of called a light mint julep. I'll keep going through. Oh, and this, what I thought of, a mint mule. Okay, so we love our mules. So you could turn it and use a little ginger beer. This one happens to be diet, but we like the diet. Or, found this today. This is a ginger lime mule. So that would go nicely on top of that, give it another extra flavor. And that's it. That's for the mint julep light. So we've got to top it off with club seltzer, and then you can do the ginger beer or the diet ginger beer. Or like I said, if you find some interesting seltzer, this is ginger lime. It'll turn your julep into a mint mule julep. All right. We can also take this. I think it would be a little bit deadly, but if you're just gonna have one or two, sounds good. 2 ounces of bourbon with a 1/2 ounce of the simple syrup and then Prosecco to top it off. So you would make it just the same, and then at the end, you would just top it off with Prosecco. And that would be delicious. The other way you can do it is, I'm obsessed with hibiscus lately. I got from a great Mexican restaurant in town over from us, Aqua Fresca hibiscus that he made, and there was real hibiscus leaves at the bottom. I used that for some margaritas, but it would also go lovely in here. You would just use 2 ounces of that, and you don't have to worry about topping it off unless you want it bubbles. The other way you can make hibiscus syrup would be to get 2 hibiscus, get like celestial seasonings or something, hibiscus tea, and take 2 tea bags and boil 8 ounces. So 2 tea bags to 1 8-ounce cup, boil it, let it cool, and then put the simple syrup in it, and you'll have hibiscus syrup. So that's perfect. That would be great. Let's see, what are we saying? Yeah, besides adding the hibiscus syrup to the mint julep, you can use it to make margaritas, you can use it in your gin and tonics, you can use it in your vodka, your rum. So hibiscus is great. And again, all of these will be on the Facebook page tonight. I'll load them up. They're already typed out. And now we're going to try another drink, because this party is all about the cocktails. This one is going to be, I've sort of made one before with jam. I'm going to try, it calls for a berry jam, but I'm going to be crazy and I'm going to try using my red pepper jam, just because I like things a little spicy. If it stinks, I won't recommend it. But if it's good, I will add it to the list. I have just to use, oh, I'm sorry, with the hibiscus julep, you also should have Angostura bitters. Put 2 dashes of that when you make that. So next, we're gonna go with, I'm gonna use my Bouillet, and I am going to do a bless your heart. That's an old Southern thing when somebody thinks you're being a jerk. It's gonna say, you say, oh, bless your heart. Isn't she sweet? Bless her heart. That's like basically they're making fun of you. So this drink is a bless your heart because you can't handle a real mint julep. All right, so we are going to take, I'm gonna mix it in here until I get the hang of it. We're gonna take 1.5 ounces of the, I hope I'm saying it right, Bouillet? I don't know. All right, we'll pour that in there. Then we're gonna take a bar spoon, so that's probably like a half of a tablespoon of the jam. And then we are going, I have to read because I'm not used to this. We are gonna take 2, basil. So, sorry, I should have showed that to you. So now we're using basil. So it's kind of like a take on a mint julep. So it's got basil, it's got red pepper jam, and it's got bourbon. And then we're gonna muddle. So this isn't really what I would muddle something in, but my shaker's right there. I might have to pour this in. All right, so it gets nice and loose. All right, I'm going to take my glass. I'm gonna pour my drink in. Oh no, wait, I know what I wanted to do with my glass. There you go. There you go. All right, had to take my fascinator out. It was bothering me looking at it on camera. All right, so I need a plate. So you're going to take, you can take a little simple syrup or lime, whatever you have, something sticky. A lime is good, and you're just gonna rim that lightly. All right, now you're gonna take powdered sugar. Let me pour a little bit out. The powdered sugar, if you don't wanna go to the effort to do it a rim glass, you can literally just sprinkle a little powdered sugar on at the end. All right. Okay, so we have our 1.5 ounces of bourbon. We have our bar spoon, basically a half a teaspoon of red pepper jam. Again, berry jam, strawberry jam, blueberry jam, whatever you have, whatever preserves you have in your fridge would be good. Whatever flavor you like would be great. And then 2 basil leaves, okay? And then we are going to pour that into the glass. And then we are gonna put crushed ice on it. Not too much. And then we are gonna mix it. All right, now you take a little of this, 2 dashes right on top. I can use that, just give it a little swirl. I think this is cute. Put a little basil, and boom, you've got your bless your heart. Woo, that's a little spicy. It's got a nice flavor, but I think I'm going to use my berry jam when I make it for Saturday. Not everybody likes spicy. Again, you could just top this off with, just sprinkle the powdered sugar right onto the ice. All right, so this is a little bit of a different flavor. Not sure I'm loving it. You can see my face. Usually I love everything. Not loving that one. I don't know whether it's the powdered sugar, the basil, but bless your heart, it's not that good. It's okay. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about, this is if you do not want bourbon at all. Hold on, let me just get rid of an alert. Have your vodka on hand. You can make your drinks with vodka, but here's a cute one. This is a cute kind of julep, I call it. So you can have 1.5 ounces of regular, like Kettle, Tito's, whatever, Stoli, and you could also use, I think it's Kettle that makes the botanical cucumber. That would be lovely for this. So 2 ounces of cucumber juice. How would you get that? You would peel your cucumber. I only have this type. You peel your cucumber, cut a couple slices off, and then muddle the crap out of it, and then strain it into a glass and get 2 ounces. So it's 1.5 of the vodka, 2 ounces of the cucumber juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, and then 5 to 7 mint leaves. So all you would do is put it all in the glass and then stir it, then top with ice, and then stir it again to get the mint leaves up, and there's your drink. And of course, garnish it with a cucumber slice and a sprig of mint. So that's if you don't drink bourbon and you don't want to buy a bottle. A cucumber julep would be lovely. All right, so we've got a big mess here. Lots of drinks. Now let's talk food, all right? So it's only Thursday, so I don't have much that I can make ahead. So we'll just talk about what different ideas you could have, all right? One of the things, and I didn't know this, I was gonna make pimento cheese dip because I made it before on here, so the recipe's on the files if you want it. The one I made was delicious. I would follow that to a T. Hi, Tom, I see you're watching. I'm in the kitchen if you're looking for me. Hi, John, hi, Jill. I didn't know that. I thought pimento cheese was the thing to make for Saturday, but beer cheese is literally in the top 10 things to have at your Kentucky Derby party. Again, beer cheese is not something you would make ahead. You wouldn't even make it that morning. You would make it about 15 minutes before your company came. You could actually add make part of it and then at the last minute melt it and add it all together. So it's nice and hot. Having one of those little crock pots, the little dipper I think it's called, would be fabulous. So then you don't have to worry about it overheating or burning, scorching. Okay, so the beer cheese, just to give you a brief thing to see if you like it, 12 ounces of shredded cheese. My recommendation is to shred a block yourself. The cheese we get at the market in the bag, usually for $1.99, has fillers, believe it or not. It's not pure, just cheddar cheese. So if you can get the cheddar cheese and shred it yourself, that would be great. But of course, because we're melting it, it will still taste fabulous if you use the fake stuff. And then 1.5 ounces of cornstarch, 1 bottle of brown ale. The ale I'm going to use, I think I'm just gonna use Yingling because that's what I have. I found 4 of them in the fridge, so I'm gonna use a Yingling, but any brown ale would do. 5 ounces of evaporated milk, Dijon mustard, Worcestershire, hot sauce, sea salt, or kosher salt. So you're going to shred your cheese, and then you're gonna add your cornstarch and put it on the side. Then over medium heat and medium saucepan, you're gonna add your beer, milk, mustard, and Worcestershire till it gets like steamy. Not bubbly, just steamy. You don't wanna scorch it. It takes about 5 minutes. Like I said, it's really quick to whip together. Just shred the cheese tomorrow, and you'll be half done. Now, if you're not ready to serve it, like I said, it has to be made, put together at the last second. Take it off the heat. Leave it in the pot, but take it off the heat. And then when you're ready to serve it, your company's there, just 5 seconds, go on the stove, heat it back up. Once it's warm, add the cheese, stir it with a spatula, pour it into your bowl, and serve it with crackers, soft pretzels, or, I don't know, you could do carrots. Why not? So we are going to make Alabama crackers. Now I know Alabama is not near Kentucky, but to me it's southern, and my daughter's there. So that's what I'm gonna make. Tonight I'm printing the recipe for a whole box of saltines, but you can also use Ritz. There's no problem, they're still the same. So let's talk about them. You can use 2 cups of vegetable oil. Okay, now again, I'm only making half tonight because I want to see how they turn out, because if they stink, I'm not going to serve them. So 2 cups, let's just pretend like I'm doing the recipe for real. 2 cups of vegetable oil. So you have a gallon Ziploc. If you have 2 gallon Ziploc, that would work better, but I don't. Then you are going to take garlic powder, 1 teaspoon, onion powder, and that is 1 teaspoon as well. And then a half teaspoon of black pepper. Where's my half? All right, and then it calls for, where is it? I don't really buy this. You can make this on your own, but the only thing that I would not be able to find was the, oh God, it was called some kind of powder, some kind of flour, and I couldn't find it. I'll let you know. But so I bought a 4-pack. That was the cheapest way to buy it. You only use 2 envelopes for this recipe. Again, I'm only doing half because I'm only making it tonight to see if I like it. All right. So any dry ranch dip would do. So 2 cups of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder, half teaspoon black pepper, and 3 tablespoons of crushed red pepper. Now, a lot of different recipes, because I always read a lot of different recipes before I devise my own and see which way I would like it. A lot of recipes said, do not fret about using the crushed red pepper. You think it's gonna be hot. Sorry, the black pepper is getting to me. It always does. But they said, nope, definitely use the 3 tablespoons of crushed red pepper flakes. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Robin for finding this recipe for me. I had no idea. I've never had these crackers. Who else is there? Hi, Karen Conway. How are you? All right. So once you have all of your dry ingredients mixed into your vegetable oil, you're going to mix it up like this. All right. Then you're going to take your crackers and you're going to dump them in. Careful not to break them. Again, we have a lot of Town Home and Ritz, so I'm only going to be in saltines and me. I'm going to take the other half and do the Ritz crackers. All right. So again, this is just, I'm just mixing up a little bit to try it out. Now you gently turn, which is hard for me. I like to, not that careful, let's just say. All right, so you want to gently turn till you see all the crackers coated. These are supposed to be fantastic. Again, you could serve them with a lot of different things. You can serve them on your own. They don't really need a dip, but I'm gonna put them next to the cheese dip. I think that will be fantastic. And I'll have to go live tomorrow to show you the outcome and see if they're worth doing. And we'll have a live taste testing. Anyway, all right, so you turn it a few times, and then in about another hour, you turn it again. And then in about another hour, when you're ready to go to bed, you turn it again. And then and you don't store them in the fridge. Store them right on your counter. And then you take them out, all the oil will be gone, and they'll be ready to serve. I think they keep for a couple of days. That's not why I'm not making a bunch, because if they don't keep past tomorrow, I'm not gonna make the rest till tomorrow night for Saturday. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just put them on a baking sheet, just quickly give them a quick bake while I have some other stuff in the oven, just to crisp them up. Some people don't, some people like them regular room temperature. I think it would be best to throw them in the oven, but don't set your timer. Don't forget about them, because you don't want them over baked. You just want them lightly toasted. All right, so that's the beer cheese, and that is the Alabama crackers. The other thing I think would be great for this Kentucky Derby, because we have so much bourbon on hand, is I usually do this at Christmas anyway. Sometimes I do bourbon, sometimes I do brandy, is I do a brie. Now there's two ways of doing a brie. You can wrap it, so you would lay your crescent roll down. You would take your brie, again, sorry, I'm not doing this all live because then I don't have a production budget. I don't have a full kitchen of crew that would eat this after I make it, so all of this would go to waste. But, so that's why I'm just gonna talk you through it. You're gonna cut that brie in half, and then you are going to put it, I'll open it for you. You don't have to cut the rind off. So you're gonna cut it in half, and then you're gonna layer it. Let's pretend this is the crescent rolls. I actually found crescent sheets, so I'm gonna put two of them together. If you have the regular triangles, you wanna make a square. So just make sure like you use your fingers and press the perforated parts together so it's one big piece. So you cut it in half and then put the rind side down on the dough, and then you'd have your nice cheese side, and then you're going to take, now you can use pecans. I don't have pecans. I actually have glazed walnuts. So I put them in a Ziploc and I crushed them, and I would take them and put them in a bowl, and then you add I think it's 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Where's my brown sugar? So your walnuts or pecans, your brown sugar, and your 2 ounces of bourbon. And you put that in a bowl, you mix it up, and then you top the brie with that. And then you take the other half of the brie, again, with the cheese side facing the mix, with the rind side out. This is actually good. We'll pretend this is the crescent. You take it, you fold it up till it's covered, and then you take 1 egg. I know this is a lot of bourbon. You take 1 egg, whatchamacallit, and crack it, and then whisk it with 1 teaspoon of bourbon. And then you brush it on, and then you bake it at 350 for about, if you're 20 minutes, let me check. Cut brie in half, mix 1 egg, bourbon, brush on dough, bake about 20 minutes, and then you want to cool that so you can actually take it out. Once your company comes, shut the oven off, everything should be done. Take your crackers out, take your brie out, and let it sit 10 minutes before you serve it, or else they could get burned. All right, you could also use dried cranberries on the top. Dried apricots would be perfect. Chop them up and toss them on with a little of the bourbon and brown sugar. The other way of doing it, this is just a little wedge I have left over, is naked brie. So you just put it on a baking pan, and once again, you just take your, I call this a walnut crust, half a cup of the chopped walnuts, and this is an 18-ounce piece of brie, so that's pretty big. A lot of them in the regular markets are 13 ounces, or you can do 8 ounces. So this recipe is for 8 ounces of brie. A half a cup of the chopped walnuts, and like I said, if you have them whole, just put them in there and bang them till they're broken up. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of flour, and that'll mix it all together, the sugar, the walnuts, and the flour, and it almost becomes like like a, you know how like a blueberry crumb has the coating on the top, like a crust. So this is crustless, but that's our little crust. So you're gonna mix those dry ingredients together, the flour, the bourbon, and the sugar. And then you're gonna add 2 tablespoons of melted butter and 2 tablespoons of bourbon, and you're gonna mix that in, and then you're gonna pour it on. And you're gonna bake it 10 minutes, and you're done. I'll talk quickly now because all of these are on the, I'll load them up. A bourbon glazed ham would be delicious. Only problem is, a lot of stores don't carry hams, like the half a ham, like the shank or the butt portion that you would, not even a spiral, like the kind you would use for Easter. It's popular at Kentucky Derby because Kentucky Derby is held in May. Well, now with COVID, we're in September, and the ham companies know no one's turning their oven on, so Susie couldn't find a ham. I actually called one supermarket by me, and they're holding a ham for me till tomorrow. So I'm going to do a bourbon glazed ham. There's 2 glazes you can choose from that I'll post the recipe for, or use your own. One is an orange bourbon glazed ham, and that's with orange marmalade, maple syrup, Dijon, bourbon, lemon juice, and ground ginger. And you just mix up the ingredients, and then you take your ham, if it's about 6 to 7 pounds, you put your oven at 325. Is it 325? Oh no, I like to put it on 400. This is my mom's trick. You put it on 400 for the first half hour. Some people like to do it at the end, but I feel like the glaze will burn. So I like to get my ham toasty on the outside, 400 for 30 minutes. Then take it out, brush half of the glaze on, put it back uncovered. Lower the temp to 325, another 30 minutes. Take it out and put an aluminum foil tent. So you don't really want to touch the glaze, you just want to tent it. Be careful of the sides because you don't want to burn yourself. And then another 30 minutes, excuse me. And then, oh God, that pepper, it gets me every time. Everybody knows I'm always choking on the black pepper. Okay, after the aluminum foil tent, so that's about 2 hours worth of cooking. You take it out for the last half hour, brush on basically the remainder, just leave a little because you want to save a little to make a dip from. Actually, you know, before you put the glaze on, put about 3 to 4 tablespoons in a separate bowl of the glaze and brush the rest on and let it bake uncovered. So about 2.5 hours at 325, first 30 minutes, 400. Oh, and before you put your ham in, you have to crisscross the top. Slice it not deep. You don't want it deep. You just want that glaze to seep in, and it makes a beautiful presentation. If you want the ham to make soup out of, because it falls right around the corner, you can, after you cook the ham and get everything off, you know, leave a little on the bone, you can pat it dry and put it in a freezer bag, wrap it up with saran wrap and aluminum, put it in your freezer, and when you're ready to make soup, you'll have it. Oh, and before you put the ham in the oven on a roasting pan, fat side up, you know, crisscross the top. God, I don't know why I can't remember what you call that. Crisscross the top. I don't know. Score the ham. You score the ham on the top. Before you score it, just pat it dry. You want a dry ham going in the oven. All right, that's it. Just let it sit for 20 minutes before you even try to slice it up. Then when that's done and in the oven, you can take a half a cup of Dijon and add 3 to 4 tablespoons of your glaze, and you'll have a nice mustard, either orange glaze or, whoop, forgot to tell you the other one. The one I think I'm doing is a fig ginger bourbon glaze. So that's 1 cup of fig ginger preserves. I bought the Stonewall, half cup of bourbon, 1/4 cup of honey, and 2 tablespoons of Dijon. The Dijon is the way to go. If you don't have some, grab some. And then not last but not least, I found green tomatoes at Wegmans. So I'm gonna make my version of fried green tomatoes topped with crab. I'm gonna, hopefully these will get ripe enough. There were only 3 ripe ones basically in the store. I'm gonna put them in with a banana in a paper bag and put them out in the sun tomorrow. Wash it, dry it, slice it, and then I'm going to saute it in a little olive oil on a pan first. Then I'm gonna transfer them to a parchment-lined cookie sheet, and I'm going to top them with a crab mixture, and you don't even need to put a lot in the crab mixture. I'm gonna do a little Old Bay, and a little mayo and a little, I forget what else, probably butter and salt and pepper. That's it. If you don't like Old Bay, you can use a little chili powder, a little paprika, smoked paprika, little salt and pepper, and then I'm just gonna bake them for 10 minutes. Oh, no, I'm gonna take panko and top them with panko and spray them. Now, you could spray them with this if you want, but if you have a nice cooking spray, I would recommend that. I did that for the rice cauliflower balls, and it gives you that nice frying texture without having to fry something. So once the fried green tomatoes come out of the saute pan, I'm gonna line them on parchment. I'm going to put a little dollop of the crab on, and then I'm gonna put panko on each one and spray it with olive oil, and I'm going to bake them for 10 minutes. And hopefully that will be a lovely treat. And then for dessert, make yourself a pecan pie, pecan derby dessert pie bars. I have that recipe. I'm going to put it on. It sounds wonderful, but it's labor intensive. So I bought a pecan pie, and I'm going to make key lime bars, and that's it. So that's all I got for you. Serve pecan pie with vanilla ice cream. And that's it. Happy Derby Day, and we'll see you later. Bye.